Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mercury in Retrograde Saturday here on the Community Education Panel for the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. Not sure why. We're having all sorts of little tech issues, but we are going to do the best we can. We may be having to repeat for one another, but we will make sure one way or another you get this critical information that we're here to share today. So welcome, everybody. Hi, Karen. Good to have you here. This is a really important topic, and we called it the Essentials for Essential Oils because there are so many viewpoints, there are so many benefits, there are so many people talking about that, not just in, say, the alternative, holistic, spiritual communities, but everyone is talking about oils. I was on the Johns Hopkins Medicine website today, and they had they had pages and pages about oils and studies. I was also talking about NIH had a whole list of things. So this idea of essential oils is not sort of to the left anymore in this hippie spiritual alternative community. It's mainstream, and really at the end of the day, this comes from nature. So here we are to talk about it. And what's so beautiful is that we have three different wonderful Holistic Chamber of Commerce members, all from three different companies, sharing their synergies, sharing their different viewpoints, sharing the different philosophies, and really here to answer your questions today, as well as offer you some wonderful things later on in the broadcast. If you're an HCC member, we will be noting who you are, and you will be part of our entry. Of course, anytime an HCC member attends one of our live panels, you are always entered into our annual prize, which this year, thanks to Lucille, Trice, is a $500 gift certificate. So thank you for being a member, and this is one of the ways we thank you. So, and if you are interested in membership, you can let us know about that too. If you have questions, please go ahead and put them as we go along the way, and we will try to address them as we move along. We do have a little bit of a delay. Some of us can't hear each other. We're just doing what we can, and hopefully, whatever it is is causing this, we're going to just push through it, right, girls? So, all right, let me tell you who these esteemed women are here today. First off, I'm Lainie Sevante Wulkan, president. Oh, there's Denise. Is she going to come on through her phone? Let's see. You'd probably have to hang up one of them, I think, Denise, but that might be better. Perfect. All right. So again, I'm Lainie Sevante Wulkan. I'm the president of the Fort Myers and Cape Coral chapter here in Florida. And I am proud to introduce these wonderful women here. I'll start with Toni Wengel. She's going to say more about herself, but she is a wonderful holistic health coach and an integral part being the director of operations for our chamber. So Toni, why don't you introduce yourself, say hi for a second, and then we'll move on to Lucille.
Hi, Toni Wengel. Like Lainie said, I'm director of operations for HCC, but I also am a essential oil enthusiast, and I love to talk about oils and the way they help people.
Wonderful.
So hoping you'll learn something today.
I know they will. All right. From Holistic Radiance Wellness, Radiance Holistic Wellness, Holistic Radiance Day Spa, however you have it, we have the beautiful Lucille Trice here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lucille Trice. I am a full-service spa specialist and also a nurse. And I use essential oils in every part of my practice, whether it's the medical part or it's the spa part. Topically, inhalations, we can get more into that in just a few minutes, but I love working with essential oils, and I'm totally excited about giving you information so that you can learn to love it too.
Excellent. Thank you. Denise Flood is here from Tapping World Healing. Amazing, amazing woman who's so versed in this world. So go ahead, Denise, say hello.
Hi, everybody. I am so very pleased to be here with these dynamic women as we share information with you. I am a health and wellness advocate with Young Living Essential Oils. I am a EFT practitioner, and I use the oils in my practice, both topically and in diffusion, and I do meditation and prayer work as well. So thank you.
Yes. So today we're going to approach this panel as if you have been essentially using oils forever and ever, and you love them, and you have a million different ways, and you can go ahead and add your comments. And B, to people who are just tuning in for the first time, you've been hearing about essential oils, you hear something about lavender, you hear something about lemongrass, or some of the all-stars. We will talk about some of the top ones here, I'm sure, today. But if you are just getting new to this, there's going to be something for everybody, just so rest assured, because there's a lot. This is a big world. And so we'll just kind of dive in, and I'll let whoever just want to go first, and you guys can just kind of piggyback on one another, just about the whole idea about essential oils. What are they? Why is it even called essential? Is it, I just want to even just define what that means, an essential oil. What is it and where does it come from? Who would like to address that first?
I guess I can go.
Okay. We'll just go in order. Have a Toni, Lucille, Denise, and then we'll move on.
So essential oils are derived from plants. Could be from flowers, trees, anything, in nature. And what they do is they take those oils from the plants and they distill them to make them liquid form. So it's all natural. If you're working with a quality company, I forgot to mention that I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate, but doTERRA and Young Living are like the top two companies, and only pure oils are used. And I can't think of anything else right now, Denise.
That's perfect. Yeah, Lucille, do you want to add to it? Because she's not one of those two. She comes from another flavor.
So it's called essential oil because it's the essential essence that's coming from the plant. All the notes, all the genetic vibrations of the plant are concentrated in the oil, and then you extract the oil from a plant, and then that's what we enjoy. We absorb, or we react to essential oils using olfactory nerve. When we smell it, the chemical breakdown of the oil actually sends messages to the brain and different parts of the body. When we place it on our skin, it penetrates into our body through the skin into the bloodstream, and it affects our muscles in certain ways, or our chemical makeup in certain ways, depending on the plant and the reason that you're using it.
That's awesome. You mentioned it's perfect for to have Denise go next, because part of what I wanted you to talk about was you talked about vibrations, and now maybe talk about frequencies. There's all sorts of components to what makes an essential oil. So Denise, if you wanted to touch on that, that would be terrific. I think you're on mute.
Let's see.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Hey. All right. So yes, absolutely. I love the topic of frequency. Everything is energy, and essential oils are some of the most needed frequencies for humanity, because the plant kingdom came before humanity came to this kingdom. They're actually, whether you believe that God spoke them into being, or you believe that they evolved, we evolved after them, or we were created after them. And so their frequencies are designed to assist us, like the Garden of Eden that we are trying to get back through good stewardship of the earth. And the wonderful thing about essential oils is that, as I heard in the other lady speaking, they act upon our body physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And the ancients knew this. They've been used for eons and eons of time, so it is not a new subject. And science is actually proving the things that have been written about in the Egyptian or the Chinese history. that, or the Indian Ayurvedic system, all of it is being proven now by science. And I think that is, not to sound too weird, cool, you know, because
Yeah.
it's just an amazing topic. Yes.
No, I mean, just how I started the show, that here at Johns Hopkins University and all these mainstream Mayo Clinic, there are so many people who are now doing tests. You see more and more articles talking about how aromatherapy is being used in certain hospitals. This is something that is, thankfully, with everybody continuing to grow in these businesses, reaching mass magnitude at a time where we need it the most. So we will get into what oils are important for today's times and what is going on. We have a lot to talk about. But Denise, just say real quickly, I know it's making a little bit of a reverb. Which company are you from? Toni's with doTERRA. Do you want to just mention yours, and Lucille, mention yours next?
Absolutely. I'm with Young Living Essential Oils.
Okay, great. And Lucille?
I primarily use Plant Prana.
Plant Prana. Okay, great. And so are there, besides these sort of big companies that we know, like you mentioned, Toni, doTERRA and Young Living, and some people know Plant Prana, are there several people out there doing it, or is it kind of a hard process that's why only some are just doing it? That's why it's kind of filtered into some, main companies. Is it a hard process, this distillation? Does anyone want to just answer that? Because I'm just wondering, I don't see a million oil companies. I kind of see a few. And if they are some, they're probably using or extracting from some of the other bigger companies. Anyone, do you want to touch on that, Toni, or anyone else?
I'll touch on that if you don't mind just a minute. I think it's really, really important to know the source of where your oils are distilled, because there are a lot of startup companies that that use chemicals. So you want to buy from a reputable company that's been around. You want to make sure that you know where your oils are coming from, that there's a trail. For instance, we have our own distilleries, so we can see that and understand that there's no added chemicals, because it's much cheaper. And that's why you see some very cheap oils on the market. It's much cheaper to cut your oils with chemicals or other additives. And that's why you want to go with one of these brands we're talking about here that uses quality science and quality control to keep the safety, because safety is a big issue with using essential oils, anything we put in and on our bodies. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Toni, did you want to add to that?
No, I totally agree. You really do have to know where your oils are coming from. And I mean, if you go to stores, I mean, you can buy oils in Bed Bath and Beyond. I would never do that, but it's just, they are popping up everywhere. And you really do have to make sure that you have a company that tests from start to finish.
Right.
doTERRA does that. They have a series of tests that they do from the time it is distilled to the time the bottle is sealed. They test it at each step so that there's no contaminants, to make sure that it's pure. And you really have to look for that.
Well, thank you. I come from the food science world, and we always talk about, when we're eating food, about oils and rancidity, right? So oils are very important. We always talk about, even in vitamins, fat soluble vitamins, things getting over toxic. Is that something that happens with these oils? I know that's kind of off topic, but it's sort of related for people who don't know anything about oils and how to maintain them or care them. We have to keep them pretty pristine, because they can become kind of denatured or lose their ability, their strength. Lucille?
I like to answer that.
Yeah.
But first, I'm going to say that essential oils are not like perfume, in the sense that, you find a perfume you really like, you can wear it until it doesn't smell right to you or feel right to you, or you can have a perfume you're dedicated to for 20 years. Essential oils, however, affect the body directly. That's why we're getting ready to explain more about vibration and how the body takes it in. An essential oil can rev up your heart rate, can lower or increase your blood pressure, can help systemically with detoxing, but it can also slow down the function of the liver or kidneys. So it's not like, you go up to a counter and just pick anyone that smells right to you. You really should get some knowledge about what your goal is and how you're picking your oil. And that's why integrity is so important, and where you're going to place it or how you're going to use it. In terms of what you were just mentioning, Lainie, yes, they can go rancid if you don't put them, control the temperature of where you're storing it, the container that you're storing it in. Most essential oils you'll find in a dark bottle, either dark brown or black, and that's to keep the sun rays from changing the chemical composure of the oil within. So I guess your question was, can you keep it forever? I'd love to, but that's not always possible.
Great. Denise, do you want to add anything to that topic?
I agree with everything that Lucille has said, how important it is proper storage, because they have actually found volatile essential oils in the pyramids that were properly sealed, and they're thousands of years old. Wow. Of course, they're in a cool crypt, sealed completely. So the possibility is there, but in our modern society, it's also, I think, important not to, a lot of people will take the oil and just tap it. I think it's important not to touch it to your skin, because you're actually getting skin flakes on your bottle, just little things like that. And also how important it is to do research. And I'm not talking about Google. I'm talking about like getting a good reference book, because surprise, surprise, the internet is not always a truth teller. And if you do use the internet, go to several sources and compare the information if that's what you have. But when you're looking at written documents or PDFs or PubMed.gov, those are things that are documented that you can trust, because there's a authenticity in the written word, because they're accountable for it. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I'm still stuck on the pyramids and thinking frankincense and myrrh is what was found there. What do you think? Well, let's talk about that for a minute. There's generally a kind of a top 10 that people go to. Maybe do you want to each share up 2 of your favorites that you think are popular or that your customers like the most? Maybe Toni, you share 2, Lucille 2, Denise 2, just to give them a sampling of, things that you hear in general. There's so many, we know that. I mean, I'm looking behind Denise and that whole thing is oils. And Toni says that she's got twice that somewhere in her house. So it is a little addicting when you realize the beauty of them and so many uses. But maybe just share a few each, Toni, Lucille, then Denise, on some of the top ones that you've seen that are working for your clients.
Yeah, I think the top, I would have to say the top oil is lavender, because it's so versatile. You can use it. It's very mild oil. A lot of people like it. It's not my favorite, but it's very popular. And in just recently, I guess, doTERRA has a blend that's called On Guard. And that's become very popular because it's called the protective blend. And what it does is it builds your immune system. And when you diffuse it, it clears the air. When you put it on your body, it helps, like I said, build immune system. That one's quite popular right now as well.
In doTERRA. Great. Do you want to add a third one? Maybe you all do 3, and if not.
Okay. Yeah, another one that I love myself is Balance. And Balance is a very grounding oil. It's made from tree barks. So anything you have that's like that, that's made from something that is in the ground or in the earth, it's very grounding and calming. And I use balance every day. That's mine.
I think she took my elements class, Lucille. What do you think?
Good.
That sounded about right. All right, Lucille, what are some of your favorites from Plant Prana?
Oh, wow. The list is endless. So the one I use a lot is eucalyptus, especially now, because eucalyptus actually targets the pulmonary cells, the lung cells. It's an antimicrobial. It's got so many sources. But eucalyptus, frankincense is a favorite. Cedarwood is another favorite. Lemongrass is a customer favorite. And for muscle, which is what I'm working with a lot these days, basil, believe it or not, is a painkiller.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. I chew a little bit of basil, fresh plant, every day. I take leaves off. It's my thing. And we will get to terpenes and all these sort of things that we'll be explaining to people soon. Denise, let's talk about Young Living and some of your favorites that you're seeing at like this time or any time, or the highlights.
Well, I have to say that probably the top oil of all time for Young Living is the Thieves Blend. It's a blend of 5 oils. The recipe came from the medieval times for the Black Plague, so it's perfect for a world pandemic. It's such a popular oil for supporting and building the immune system, for clearing the lungs, for disinfecting your home, that they've developed an entire line around it, including cleaners, mouthwash, toothpaste, sprays, hand sanitizer, which has actually been FDA approved to be used during this time. It's on their list now. So that's the number one right now. One of my personal favorites in my work is myrrh, because myrrh is actually very good for releasing trauma. And so when I am tapping with people, that is one I'm either diffusing, or I teach them. A lot of people put it in the palm of their hand, but I actually teach them to put it on the back and then rub it together. And I breathe like this, because when we're tapping with our fingertips. And I'm sure all the ladies here will agree that if you get an oil in your eye, it's not fun. So that's just another good tip. And my last oil that I'll talk about is one called Progressence Plus. I just actually pop a roller top on here. It's actually like a serum oil for women's hormones, and helps to balance them. It's incredibly powerful with the wild yam. In fact, if I ran out of this oil and my family begged me to reorder, and I'm not saying because I had like wheels on the bottom of my feet or anything, but hey. So that's what I would offer up for this part of the conversation.
That's awesome. Some of my favorites, I am addicted, my husband and I, we diffuse rosemary consistently. We are crazy for rosemary. So good for you. So good. Opens up the chest. And I also love bergamot. I'm sure I can go on and on. I started off with a few, and now I have that turnstile that just keeps filling up, and Howard likes to just grab all of them. We're addicted to it. So I use the word diffusing. And for some people who are here, and by the way, Karen and some of you others who've been putting wonderful questions, we will get to all the questions a little bit later. Just want to let you know that I see them and I will get to them, but I want to make sure we just get all the information in that these ladies want to share today. So I use the word diffusing, and for some of us, we know exactly what that means. And for other people who are watching this, they may not know. Do we eat the oil? Do we smell the oil? Do we rub it on? What is diffusing? So maybe each one of you just talk about, I know there's different reasons and different uses, but maybe share, Toni, what diffusing is. And then Lucille and Denise, we could all just kind of share in this conversation about the many different applications of essential oils for different things.
Okay. So diffusing is, I think, one of the easiest ways to get the oils in the air. So
okay,
you have a diffuser that has that you fill with water, and
You have a diffuser there to show?
So this is
Okay.
one of the
Yeah.
diffusers, and you it has water in it. And what you do is you fill it up with water. I don't know if you can see
Yeah.
you see the smoke coming out of the mist. So you fill it up with water, and you put a few drops of your favorite oil in there, whatever it may be, and you diffuse it, and the droplets go into the air, and kind of, whether you like it or not, you're getting the benefits of the oils. So if you have somebody in your family or whatever that doesn't quite understand what the oils are all about, and you want them to get the benefits, diffusing is good. Another way to diffuse it is you can put a few drops in your hands and cup it over your mouth and your nose and breathe it in through your nose and your mouth. I've also put some on cotton balls and put it in my car vent so that when the air blows, that's another way of diffusing.
I love it in the car. That's one of my favorite places.
So, yeah, they're just
back in the day when we actually drove somewhere when we weren't on lockdown, right?
Exactly.
We actually did a lot of driving. The car was the best.
Yeah.
Denise, did you want to show us your diffuser back there? We see it.
Well, this is one of them. We have a variety. I have a fabulous one I almost used today. I have no little ones left, but I had to get it because it's called Feather the Owl. Absolutely adorable. But just like you were saying, you put the oils in. There's a little plate in there, and I will caution people, always put the water in before you put the oil in, because you don't want, that plate is ultrasonic, and you don't, I've made that mistake myself, so I'm just passing that tidbit on. And it's very good also when you're talking about it being in the air. I have a reference book that I use for my animals. It's written by a vet specifically for how to use essential oils with your pets. And the holidays, like here in Florida, I think everybody goes out and shoots fireworks off for every holiday. When I grew up, it was just 4th of July. But we have a blend called Peace and Calming. Put that on, and my dogs who are rescue that hate loud noises, they will sleep through the 4th of July. So it's not just good for us. It's good for our fur babies, again, with the proper education behind it.
Awesome. Lucille gave me this one. So this is the one that is in my office, and I love it, and it changes colors, and I have lemon in it right now, pure lemon. Lucille, anything you want to talk about besides diffusing, maybe some other applications?
I do. First off, there is a diffuser in every part of the spa, just saying.
Yes, all different ones.
All different ones. But I use it in the mister. When you're getting a facial, I like to use frankincense because it's good for the skin. It's an anti-aging, anti-wrinkle type of essential oil, very calming. So I use it in the mister. I also use it in my foot and pedi treatments with warm water. So you can get the physical effects through the feet, but you also get the essence through the steam. And that's a way of sort of diffusing while you're having your treatment. Very calming.
Excellent. Okay, well, this is for all three of you. What about topically? Some of you know there are chefs out there. In fact, I just watched a baking show, and through my eagle eye, I saw when they were preparing their meal, I was like, they're using an essential oil right there. So let's talk about actually using these oils as well inside our body to enhance food or to heal or to whatever. Whoever wants to go first, go for it.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know how to start. There are some places of theory that say it's okay to use essential oils orally by placing it in the tongue, under the tongue. The blood vessels under the tongue are directly connected to the heart, so that's not always a good idea. Again, essential oils can rev up your heart rate, decrease your heart rate, cause an arrhythmia. And not every essential oil can be used that way. For instance, the liver can't filter out a lot of them and you can go into liver failure, or the kidneys can be affected and you go into renal failure. So do study or do get the proper information for the oil that you're thinking of taking in. Pretty safe with the stuff that we consume, like the rosemary essential oil or mint, something that we're already consuming in terms of plants. But for the most part, medically speaking, you have to check with your physician, and pretty much 70% is not safe to take orally.
Thank you for pointing that out to everybody listening. Denise, go ahead and add to that.
Two great things to add to that. Number one, oils that are incredibly not safe to take internally. Young Living puts a child safety cap on, which I think is such a smart idea. The other thing they do is they have an entire line called Vitality, and you can see it has a white label. And so you know, just seeing the white label, that that is safe to ingest or use in your cooking, which was going to bring me to that, because during this pandemic, we've all been kind of on lockdown. Some things are harder to get than others, like spices and fresh herbs and things like that. And so we have an entire line, everything from orange to cumin to tarragon, rosemary, that can be added to your culinary delights, whether it is a smoothie or whether you're actually cooking with it, making a turmeric lemon loaf or something like that. That is incredibly aromatic and warm and good for you. And it doesn't go bad when you store it properly. Yeah.
Awesome. Tony's a chef. Toni, how do you incorporate the world of oils in your world and for your clients with doTERRA?
So I guess I agree with Lucille and with Denise. So with Lucille, I don't put any oils directly like under my tongue or anything like that. I think that it's a personal choice, and if you're educated enough to do that, then that's fine for some people. But I have used them in my cooking. I think that, again, if you're educated and you know which oils you can ingest and which ones are not, doTERRA doesn't have different color labels, but they put a what do you call it on there? I can't think of what it's called. A supplement
Symbol
information. Yeah. Supplemental information, so it'll tell you, how much you can use.
Like a recipe almost?
I was trying to find one. No, it has supplemental information. You know how you like how many servings are in a bottle, sort of thing.
Got it.
So and they also have safety caps on some of the ones that really should not be taken internally. But the ones I use for cooking are all the ones that come from herbs. And
got it. So before we get to some of the questions, because we have a lot of questions in the group, and I know you have some special offers, I do want to talk about maybe some personal stories. Can maybe each of you, whoever feels called to share, maybe some working with some clients, you've gotten some testimonials, you've heard some great success stories. They went from A to B or whatever, A to Z. Maybe just share each of you a little bit of really working hands-on with your clients. It's not just theory. So who would like to go first?
Okay.
Toni, go for it.
So I was trying to think, there's a lot of stories. But the one that really stuck out in my mind was someone I met when I had a booth at the farmer's market. And she was curious about the oils. I went to her house. We did a consultation. We talked about them. And she wanted to try what we have for muscle, which it's called Deep Blue Rub.
Okay, cool.
You can see that. And she has fibromyalgia. And she said that it was from night to day. Like she was always in pain, always had that, sensation of pain. And when she uses the deep blue, she said it was like a miracle to her. It just went away. They actually sell it in a big pump bottle, and she buys it like that because she uses it every day.
Wow.
And it just changed her life because she was able to go out and do things when before she was, she stayed home because she was in pain all the time. She couldn't go for a walk. She couldn't go, do activities with her husband. And the deep blue rub helped her so much that she was able now, she has grandkids now and she plays with them. And so I think that really is compelling.
No medicine's necessary. Nature's
Right.
medicine, as I say. I love it. Denise, you have a story you want to share too?
I have two, and number one I'll say is my own story. I do what I do, and I represent Young Living because of the changes that have occurred in me and for me. I was a tapping practitioner, and in the midst of that, I moved here and I lost my mom, and I was deeply, deeply sad. And that's when I was introduced to Young Living. And that's when I began to use the oils on a regular basis and felt such a profound change in my mental and emotional state. I went from just really deep grief to being able to function. And it also led me to a community like you all that we share what we do. And I wouldn't have that without having moved on from that step. And also using it in my practice, I would just start it by diffusing lemon. And as you were saying, and just saw the upliftment in people the minute they walked in, and they're like, oh, it did half the work for me. And one other note, just to say, everybody's different. And so if one oil doesn't work for you, don't give up on it because another oil might. Because I had a friend I network with, and she came in and she couldn't stand upright. I mean, she was literally like walking like this. And so I gave her some of the oil-infused CBD muscle rub, and she used it, and she's like, oh. So it was okay, but it didn't have the effect for her that it had for me with my back. And so I said, well, I have this Calm, which has lavender and a few other really relaxing oils, CBD, and it's really, I thought I was using it for emotion. I rolled it on her back, and immediately she was like, this is it. This is what's working for me. And so everybody's, just like frequencies are individual, we need to really listen to ourselves and take suggestions, and start very slow. I'm sure everybody's going to agree with this here, where we say we're working with pure essential oils and less is more. We don't need like to pour it on like you would. Less is more. Pay attention to how it feels. If it's hot, you want to get a good carrier oil, which can be anything. I happen to use the V6, which is vegetable oils, but even run to your kitchen, get some coconut oil, get some olive oil, and just the oil is still going to work the same. You are just gently allowing your skin to accept it in a way that isn't like a sledgehammer. Okay.
I love it. I'm going to say a couple things and then we'll go to Lucille. For those of you who don't know, I'm a longtime intuitive, and I have a practice where I do a lot of readings for people. And part of what I do is I sometimes build, before the client comes in, I'm already tuned into them, and I build an altar. But I tune into the oil that's just right for them. And every time they walk in, I'm like, oh, that feels so great. It's like I have already a sense of what we're going to be working on. So it's just so great to see like the oils that kind of match the situation. So I really relate to that, Denise. And I went through a profound loss several years ago. And I remember, and I wasn't too familiar at the time with oils. And a very sweet massage therapist came to me and she goes, I've made you a grief blend. And it was her own concoction. It wasn't anybody's name. It just said grief on the outside with a heart. And it was a blend. And, I just smelled it and rubbed it and, did whatever I used for it. So that was my first foray into what is this bottle? It's making me feel so good. So I really relate to what you said. Lucille, I'm sure you have a few good stories to share too.
I have so many, I get congested in my head, but one that came to mind was I do a lot of deep tissue work, and I work with tendons and ligaments as well as the belly of the muscle. And like you all said, it's not, each individual body is different. I was working on this woman who had chronic pain for probably decades, and I was relieving the pain, but she wasn't lasting long. And I tried essential oils like the basil and the mints and other things, and it was working, but not lasting long. And then it turns out all of a sudden I used a lymphatic blend and started addressing the lymphs for her. And that's what actually was adding to the extra pressure. So that ended up working. And she was able to last 30 days before having her IV therapy, which she also gets. And today it's just an amazing result from when she first walked in to where she's at now. So yes, definitely continue to try until you reach the oil that does work. And again, everybody is not the same. So thankfully, we got into the lymphatics and she's a much happier person now.
Fantastic. Do you have another story, or are we good there? Because we'll take some questions from the viewers.
Well, personally, I use essential oils every day. I see people with different energies all day, every day, and I need to protect and maintain my own. So when I feel that energy level dropping, I do a citrus to pick me up. If I'm feeling depressed, I don't want to pass that on to my client. So I take a moment and take in some mugwort that helps me with that. I mean, it's trial and error, but I definitely use it on a daily basis, my own story.
And it's a good way for you who do sway tests or pendulums or muscle testing to really test oils. Like, is this for me? Or see these consultants, these professionals here who can help you. So some of these people have questions. Let me just throw these out there, and whoever wants to address them, or all of you, however you want. I'm just going to go from the bottom and make our way up. Mind Body Spirit Clinic asks, can you give a few examples of oils that could affect the liver and kidneys? It's Kat Udell asking, by the way. And again, well, go ahead. Anybody want to address that for liver and kidneys?
Is she asking negatively or positively?
Here, let me go and put that in. Can you give a few examples of oils that could affect the liver and kidneys? Oh, yeah. So, Kat, why don't you go ahead and ask, you could affect it adversely or for the betterment to help support its function? Is that what Lucille's asking? So if you can define that more, and we'll go to maybe someone else, and then I'll wait for Kat to come back to that and, to define that. So Karen Cavallo, I am allergic to lavender. What would you recommend to replace lavender for the same thing? So lavender has a lot of uses. So how, I guess you would have to determine what the use is, but go ahead, ladies. Anybody want to address that?
Well, like I said, any of the balance or any of the oils that are made from trees or from the earth, there's an oil called vetiver that is made from the roots of a grass, anything that's like that, or cedar wood, that the balance blend that I mentioned, all very calming and soothing oils that may be a good replacement for a lavender.
Perfect. Denise, do you want to add anything there?
Again, yes, it would depend on what they were using. If they were allergic to lavender and they wanted something lovely for their skin, frankincense is absolutely fabulous. If they have like a bruise or something like that, an oil like helichrysum would be wonderful for that. So lavender is known as the Swiss Army knife of oils for a reason. So looking at what you want to use it for, you can just look in your reference book, substitutes for lavender.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Lucille, did you see that? She kind of wanted the positive and negatives, whatever you want to share. whoever wants to share. I'm not saying unless you want to be the one to share about liver and kidneys, or maybe that's something for later offline.
I'll talk to her about it offline. And
Okay.
anyone else who wants information can call the spa, and I can get more into that.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll talk about how to work with you and Toni and Denise in a little while. Okay, Kat. So hang tight on that. Just throwing it out. Oh, where did I think I just missed that. Something, just throwing it out there. Can you give it, just throwing it out there, guys, Dr. Robert Pappas. I don't even know who that is. Do y'all know? Anybody want to comment what that means or who that is?
He's an independent physician who tests oils from all over the, but any kind of oil. He's not loyal to any company. So he's like a third party kind of.
Okay. A neutral party per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I'm seeing Karen's question too, which one's better, the difference between the different companies. You know, we're not here to pit one against the other. We're here to be like synergistically everybody working together, because they wouldn't, these ladies in these companies wouldn't be on the Holistic Chamber of Commerce panel unless they were the tops of the tops. What I would say that you can't go wrong with anybody. But if there is something you want to share, Toni, about a doTERRA philosophy, or Denise, a Young Living philosophy, or Lucille, a plant prana, that's, you know, something that's special about your company, sure, let's share that. But it's more, we're more, I don't think there's a better or not, because you guys all offer phenomenal products, and I use all three of you, and I buy from all three of you, and I use all three oils from all your different companies. So anyone just want to talk a little bit individually about something, a takeaway? I know you guys talked earlier about On Guard for doTERRA and Thieves for Denise for Young Living, but yeah, just maybe a sentence here or there.
I'm just going to say that I love and respect these ladies and the work that they do. And it's an individual choice for everyone.
Yeah.
And you need to energetically feel what you feel from the individual oils. Research, do your own research. Would I say that's why I chose Young Living? Absolutely. Do I respect the fact that somebody chose something different? Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think everybody they're all phenomenal. They've all worked very hard to create the standard of excellence in all these companies. Toni, anything you wanted to share about doTERRA in particular?
No, I just wanted to agree with Denise. It really is what you think you're drawn to. Maybe even the person who works with you. You know, if you have a connection with the actual person that is selling the oils or helping you figure out what oils you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a personal choice. I wouldn't choose one over the other. I agree with you, Lainie, that all three companies are
fantastic.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of you might choose, there may be certain things that one company has that the other one doesn't carry. So that's another way. And it doesn't hurt to have a little bit. Any comments, Lucille, on this, and we'll move on?
Well, I do use some doTERRA and some Living and Acacia, I think it's called also.
Sure.
I'm just loving Plant Prana because I've taken a few essential oil courses with them, and they're always able to tell me where the source of the oil came from and different parts of the world where they source it. I learned a lot about how that's obtained and sold on the open market. So that's the reason I use Plant Prana, but I've used all of them, and I love a lot of things about a lot of different oil companies. So.
No question. You know, used to be, and I used to be, I don't know about you ladies, pretty obsessed, still am for the most part, with incense, but the smoke irritates me. But the diffuser steam does not. So I just think that, you know, this is sort of the new way. You'd see, have either of you, any of you seen people actually use oils in a hospital setting, or anybody who's watching or that works in a hospital? I know we have a lot of nurses or former nurses, or, you know, I really love to see like someone actually using this, or in a nursing home or that sort of thing. Denise, go ahead.
I know that personally they are using Young Living at Sloan Kettering in the cancer wards, but also I have many friends that are doulas. I have many friends that have given birth, and the hospitals are now more and more open to that, to diffusing, to putting the oils on, to allow the opening, to anoint the child after they're born. So it really is something ancient coming forward and becoming mainstream.
Progressive
And,
for sure.
Yeah.
Lee Health uses the oils as well on the
Yes.
maternity floor and in the cancer center. So they too recognize that, you know, it helps. And it's in partnership with regular medicine. You know, it doesn't necessarily take over. It works in synergy with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hope Hospice Care also uses it in their palliative care.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Wonderful. Well, ladies, why don't we share with the viewers and for those who are going to see this well after the group that's here today, more about your companies, more about what your maybe something special that you would like to offer our groups today, and whoever watches this video, and how to reach you. We'll make sure we have you all put your information in the comment section, so that is kind of living there forever. But yeah, maybe just share a little bit about what you'd like to offer from your heart today to the people who've been here for this wonderful hour together. Who'd like to go first? Denise.
Okay.
I'll do Denise, Lucille, and Toni.
Okay. Thank you, first of all, so much for this opportunity. And I just want people to be aware that an investment in oils is an investment in your personal growth, your personal health. It's just and in what you're using in your household. Our company, for instance, has a means of going through your entire household and replacing harmful chemicals with things that are going to support and uplift you. And with that in mind, I do want to say Young Living has an amazing starter kit that I call the first aid box. It comes with 12 oils and a beautiful diffuser. Several, you can actually choose that, or and so right now what I'm doing is if anybody orders and set under my member number or contacts me through this holistic chamber, I will gift them with this reference book. It is over 300 pages. And
Wow.
what I really love about it, it not only goes into each oil, it goes into how to apply them, and gives all the cautions. It gives the history. It's like a little pocket Bible. And I am offering a $20 product credit for any new member that would sign on. The second special I'm doing, and actually that will be from June through July, is I'm giving away a free half-hour assessment from Tapping World Healing. That will introduce you to tapping, assess what your needs are, so then you can decide if you want to move forward. And you can go to Tapping World Healing, fill out the form there, and I'd really be blessed. And the last thing that I will say is, for anybody that might not be in their wheelhouse right now, every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a half-hour wellness class. I call it Wellness Wednesdays. It is absolutely free. It's on my business page, Denise Flood on Facebook. Everything is there. Go through it. I try to do some education, some experiential, whether it's with oils or tapping or prayer or meditation. And that is my spirit offering to everyone on the planet right now. So thank you so much.
Beautiful. Well, we'll make sure, because there were so many wonderful things in there, that we'll post that for everybody. And I was on her Wednesday, this last Wednesday, blown away how she incorporated her new meditation. And it's a great, great Wednesday to go to if you can. So we'll make sure people find out about that. Lucille, and then Toni. And by the way, Karen was not pinning one against you. I didn't mean you to say that. I was just saying that a lot of people ask that a lot about companies and which one's better. But really, she's a newbie. She's saying, and here, let me just put what she said. I was wondering, newbie, how would to choose a company for the first time if they were uninformed. And I think they address that as they're also uniquely different, who you resonate to as a person, products, go online, look at the websites. It'll come to you. Use that intuition. Bring it to you. The right answer will show itself. All right, Lucille. Thanks, Karen. We love you.
So at Radiance Holistic Wellness, we do a few things. Like I mentioned before, head to toe spa specialty, massage, body wraps, skincare, foot detox, body detox. We also do steamers, but I also do basic health consultation. So for today, the first 5 people who email us will get a free consultation. It'll be a 30-minute consultation, normally $40. And yeah, any questions that they have about their basic health, labs, things like that.
You said labs?
Yeah, because sometimes you get your lab results, you want to ask a question to your physician, and it just is all so confusing how it connects to you, so you can formulate what you need to ask your physician. So it's basic. I can go over the labs with you and let you know what you can bring up to your physician if you're concerned about it. Or not. Maybe it's a great lab and you didn't know that.
Sure. Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Lucille. Make sure we put your information in. Toni, thank you. Go for it.
Thank you for having me today. I had fun.
Yay!
Believe it or not, yeah. I'm very calm today. I don't know. Maybe it's my balance. But
yeah, today that was like a theme today. A lot of us we're really talking about bringing in balance, and I'm so grateful that the technology balanced out.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Toni.
I wanted to offer everyone a free ebook. It's 100 ways to use essential oils. So if anybody is interested in that, you can, get back to me and I'll email it to you.
Great.
I'm also offering, if you open up a wholesale account under my username, then I'll reimburse you with an oil up to $35. That would cover the initiation fee that they charge you. So you could do that. And I do have a class coming up. I'm going to do an online class of just Essential Oils 101, and it's on July 28th. It's a Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So again, if you're interested in tuning in for that, just let me know.
Beautiful. So we'll make sure we put all 3 of you, all your beautiful information, Facebook event links, all those details. Did anybody else who is here have any last questions before we wrap up? Any final thoughts, questions, feedbacks from viewers on these beautiful ladies? Let me see. Lisa Rose, thank you. Excellent information. Appreciate the sharing. She is a doTERRA advocate, but loves learning more about other high-quality EO companies and uses. It's an exciting time, I think, for all of you who do this. And to really, that's what's so great about the chamber. We all work together. And that's what it's a blessing for me, is that we do these panels. Deb Martine from Lotus Blossom Clinic. And by the way, let me thank the sponsors who make this possible, which is Lotus Blossom Clinic, Muscle Tuners International, Natural Awakenings Magazine, Zeta Global Radio, Intuitive Wisdom. Those are my companies. It takes a village to put these together, but also this is a really good way of you getting a sense of who we are as a chamber and how the diversity of our group is also not only diverse, but very synergistic, and we all work together. And we will be doing future panels on different ways to do Reiki. It'll be all Reiki masters on there. We'll have massage. Lucille will be back for massage and all the different ways to apply massage. So we all work together, and we all work in our own individual uniqueness. That's what makes, I think, the chamber and all of our members so lovely. Any last thoughts? Deb Martine, love this panel. Any one last takeaway, and then we'll call it a wonderful essential oil day. Denise?
One thing I'm going to say is every time Lucille talks about her services, my body goes, oh, 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 ah. No, I really, and that's the truth. I really just am so grateful for this community. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Denise. Lucille?
Thank you.
Any other last thoughts, Lucille? Yeah.
Oh, last thoughts. Ask questions. We, as a holistic chamber, are a wealth of information. Don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to go back to something old. We're here to help you. Take advantage. It's a new world, and we're just living in it. But improve your health, improve your spirit, mind, body, and all. We're here to help.
Beautiful. Toni? Bring us home, Toni.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who came on and listened to us. And I'm grateful to be part of the chamber. Again, a lot of diversity. Everybody is everybody has their own businesses, but we're all one big family. And I think that's the best thing about the chamber is that we all get along and no competition. We just share all of our knowledge with each other, and I just think that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's an honor to be your president. It's an honor to have these panels. Next month, we'll be doing intuitive energy and healing support. So for all those who want to learn more of the esoteric world of our chamber members, Deb Martin will be heading that up with some incredible panelists. Wonderful, wonderful, very intuitive, deep healing specialists who will be here to support you. So we do this every Saturday, the fourth Saturday, not every Saturday, the fourth Saturday of the month. They're free. We showcase this on YouTube, our HCC Southwest Florida SWFL YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We have it on our Facebook. Share these around. Tell your friends. They're free to attend. We're very excited. Next month, we're also grateful. We have Cheryl Friedman and Past Life Archaeologist who will be sponsoring that event. Really, really great panel coming up. So really, thank you so much. We're so appreciative. I am thankful that all of you are representing nature. Mother Nature is my lady. I'm so grateful that she continues to bring so many ways to show how when we return back to the simplicity of nature, she responds in kind, in oils. Joanna and I do the Food Healing Oracle deck, which is inspired from Mother Nature. Everything is about going back to the pure essence. I think that's what you touched on earlier, that word, Lucille. And I think that's what we're here today, is to show you what truly is essential, and do your research and find out what's best for you. Namaste, everybody. Thank you. Take care.